A salesman at a luxury jet dealership insults a well-dressed elderly black man, assuming he's just another customer who can't afford the jets. Little does he know, the man he's belittling is actually the billionaire owner of one of the world's largest private jet companies. Watch how this unfolds. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss out on our latest content. Now, let's get started. Skyward Jets was the kind of place where dreams came true for the ultra-wealthy. Its showroom was sleek and pristine, with state-of-the-art private jets gleaming under the lights. Each jet was a symbol of immense wealth and prestige, carrying price tags that could fund entire cities. The salespeople moved smoothly through the showroom, their polished suits a reflection of their high-end clientele, CEOs, celebrities, politicians, and the super-rich who frequented this place, looking to add to their empire of luxury. David Carter, an elderly black man in his late 60s, entered the showroom with quiet confidence. His simple attire, a black turtleneck, worn leather jacket, and tailored slacks, didn't immediately scream wealth. However, there was something about the way he carried himself that commanded attention. David wasn't the kind of man who made a scene or wore flashy labels to draw eyes to himself. He had lived a life of hard work, perseverance, and success, and it was clear that he wasn't here to waste time. David's gaze swept over the collection of jets displayed on the showroom floor, his eyes narrowing on a particular aircraft. The Falcon 900EX, a sleek and powerful jet, caught his eye. This wasn't just a jet. It was a symbol of his success, luxurious, fast, and perfect for his personal and business needs. Despite his age, David still had a sharp eye for detail. He examined the smooth curves of the jet's design, the polished engines, and the craftsmanship that had gone into its creation. He was no stranger to aircraft. After all, David was the owner of one of the largest private jet leasing and manufacturing companies in the world, Carter Aviation Group. He wasn't here just as a casual observer. He was here to buy. Richard Parker, a tall, polished salesman in his early 30s, was one of the top performers at Skyward Jets. He had worked with high-profile clients before and prided himself on knowing exactly what they wanted. When he noticed David walking around, he immediately assumed he was just another window shopper. After all, David's simple, understated outfit didn't fit the usual image of someone who could afford a multi-million-dollar jet. Richard approached with a practiced smile, his voice smooth but laced with skepticism. "Can I help you, sir?" David, without hesitation, replied, "I'm interested in purchasing a jet. I'd like to see the specs on the Falcon 900EX. Richard glanced at David's clothes and raised an eyebrow, immediately judging him. "Well, just so you know," Richard said, trying to be polite but condescending, "these jets are not rentals. They're multi-million-dollar aircraft. Perhaps I can show you something more reasonable." David's calm expression didn't change, but inside he could feel the familiar pang of disappointment. He had experienced this kind of treatment before. The assumption that, because of how he looked, he couldn't afford what was in front of him. "I'm not looking for reasonable," David said evenly. "I'm looking for the best. Now, would you be kind enough to show me the specs, or should I find someone else who will?" Richard chuckled, crossing his arms, his arrogance peaking. "You do know these jets start at $75 million, right? I can direct you to a more suitable option for someone with a smaller budget." David's expression remained neutral, but inside he was already losing patience. He wasn't here for an argument. He was here to make a purchase. Without another word, David reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a sleek black card. He handed it over to Richard with calm precision. Richard took it, glanced down at the card, and then back at David. He read the words on the card. David Carter, CEO, Carter Aviation Group. Richard's confidence faltered. He blinked a few times, the realization dawning on him. David Carter. The name clicked instantly. He wasn't just a potential customer, he was the billionaire CEO of one of the largest private jet leasing and manufacturing companies in the world. Not only did David have the means to buy any jet on the showroom floor, he likely owned the entire dealership. Richard's face paled. He looked at David again, his earlier arrogance replaced with a nervous smile. "Mr. Carter, I didn't recognize you. I'm so sorry," he stammered, now eager to make amends. David, however, didn't flinch. He wasn't interested in Richard's apology. "No," David said, his voice firm and composed. "You didn't recognize me, but more importantly, you didn't bother to treat me with respect. You assumed I couldn't afford a jet based on my appearance, and now you're scrambling to fix your mistake." Richard's mouth opened, but he couldn't find the words. He had no idea how to salvage the situation. David continued. "Tell me, Richard, how many other potential customers have you turned away because they didn't fit the image in your head? How many people have you dismissed because they didn't look like your typical buyer?" The showroom had gone quiet. Other customers and sales associates had stopped talking, and all eyes were on the scene unfolding before them. Richard was now acutely aware of the weight of David's words. David's gaze didn't leave Richard, but his tone softened. "You treated me like I didn't belong here, and you'll never know how many opportunities you've missed because of that." The silence in the showroom was deafening, and at that moment, the regional manager of Skyward Jets, Jeff Morris, who had been observing from the back, hurried over to intervene. "Mr. Carter," Jeff said, his voice calm but concerned, "please allow me to apologize for this misunderstanding. I'll take care of this immediately." David turned toward Jeff, his gaze unwavering. "No need for apologies, Jeff. I'm not concerned about what's already happened. I'm concerned about the future." He turned back to Richard, who was still standing there shocked. "Richard, I want you to fire him." Jeff blinked, clearly caught off guard. "Sir?" David's expression remained neutral, but his voice was firm. "This is not about me. It's about how you treat people. Richard judged me solely on my appearance. That kind of attitude has no place in this showroom or anywhere in business. I'm asking you to take responsibility for this." The regional manager didn't hesitate. He nodded quickly and gestured for security to escort Richard out. "Understood, Mr. Carter. We will handle this." Richard, pale and defeated, was escorted out of the showroom, his shoulders slumped in humiliation. David watched the scene unfold, his feelings a mixture of frustration and relief. The problem wasn't just about one bad experience. It was about creating a culture where everyone, regardless of their background, was treated with respect. David turned back to the jet he had been admiring. He smiled slightly, then addressed the rest of the room. "Now, can someone competent show me the specs of the Falcon 900EX? One of the top salespeople quickly approached David, her face a mixture of professionalism and respect. "Right this way, Mr. Carter," she said with a smile. The process went smoothly from there. David, now fully assured of the dealership's commitment to respect, went through the details of the Falcon 900EX. It was everything he had imagined, luxurious, powerful, and perfect for his personal and business needs. After reviewing all the specifications, David signed the papers. By the end of the day, David didn't just purchase one jet. He bought 2 brand-new Falcon 900EX jets. The purchase wasn't just a financial transaction. It was a statement. David had made his mark, not just by buying the jets, but by ensuring that Skyward Jets would never treat another customer like Richard had treated him. The regional manager, Jeff, once again approached David as the paperwork was finalized. "Thank you, Mr. Carter. We appreciate your business, and we've taken note of the issues you raised. We will make sure every customer is treated with the respect they deserve moving forward." David gave a small nod, satisfied. "I trust you will. I'll be sure to recommend this dealership to others." In the weeks that followed, David's visit to Skyward Jets became a turning point for the dealership. The staff, now under closer supervision, had learned the importance of treating every customer with respect, no matter their appearance. The regional manager, Jeff, made it clear that no one would ever be judged by their clothes again. Sales improved as the word spread that Skyward Jets was a place where anyone, regardless of their background or attire, would receive the same high level of service. More importantly, potential customers who might have previously been turned away because of their looks now felt welcomed and valued. David's actions had created a shift in the culture, and Skyward Jets became a place where respect was the foundation of every transaction. David Carter didn't need the recognition. His satisfaction came from knowing that he had made a lasting impact. As a successful businessman, David had seen the cost of bias and arrogance in action. He had built his empire on the values of respect, hard work, and humility. By standing up for what was right, he had not only bought 2 jets, but had set a precedent that would be felt for years to come. David didn't just change one showroom. He had begun the process of changing the way people viewed wealth, success, and how they should treat one another. His legacy wasn't just in the businesses he had built, but in the lives he had touched. As David looked out the window of his office at Carter Aviation Group, he knew the changes he had made at Skyward Jets were just the beginning. He had done more than purchase jets. He had created a culture of respect and fairness that would resonate long after he had walked out the door. David smiled to himself. He had done good, not just for himself, but for everyone who would walk through that showroom in the future, and that, to David, was the true measure of success. And so, David Carter's quiet yet powerful stand for respect changed the culture at Skyward Jets forever. His actions reminded everyone that appearances can be deceiving, and that integrity and kindness should guide every interaction. By holding people accountable, David not only purchased jets, but also reshaped an entire industry's attitude. His legacy lives on through the respect and fairness now embedded in the showroom. If you found this story inspiring, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more incredible tales like this one. Stay tuned for more, and thank you for watching.